Boom! What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the Collectors Company Card Gaming channel.
Thanks,
John, tell us what you did today in Brisbane here.
Well, we finally had Dragon Ball Card Fest here in OCE, and fortunately enough, first online event we've had, a big one. In person event, sorry, that we've had in a while, and I was able to win the event. Very happy. You know, it's really cool to come here and meet so many people that you've only talked to online and whatnot. And it's also happy, you know, that I get to play in person and people are like, John's the commentator, bro. He's pretty bad, but hey, I've still got it apparently.
All right, yeah. Well, so what prizings did you get? Let's check them out here. Show us what goodies you've got.
So we got a Mythic Booster. I so happened to pull the Vegeta SCR, which funnily enough is the only card I needed from Mythic Booster, and it's pretty nice to pull that. And then I got these two Supreme cards. I honestly didn't realize I got two, so that's very lucky. And the winner one, if you see on the side here, it actually says, I don't know how clear it is on the camera, but
we can see it clearly there. Look at the textured foil and no print line on this beautiful secret rare like all the other Supreme Kai has in the normal set. Absolutely gorgeous.
Yeah, so very awesome stuff. Happy to say I got 3 SCRs from this event, so that's very lucky. But for those people, I think it's no surprise to... I'm putting this away. You know?
Yeah, we're going to put the goods away. Yeah, definitely.
So I think it's to those people surprised that what I played was U7. I've made 2 deck profiles already on the deck. Luckily enough, one of my friends was actually able to give me the pre-release leader, so I'm upgrading my leader every time I do a profile. First it was digital, and now it's foiled and pre-release. But yeah, I've been playing the deck for a while. I think the deck's extremely good. I wouldn't go as far to say it is the the best deck. I think it's a really good deck, but I also think it's like one of the harder decks to play. Yes, I have made some changes to the deck since the previous, since the online event, the top 16. So yeah, we'll just quickly go into it.
But first of all, before we go into the deck profile, why don't you run us through your matchups for the day?
Matchups for today. Honestly, my matchups were not the... There were like some really hard games, not some bad ones. Do
you remember what you first in round 1?
Yeah, round 1 was Finn. Finn was kind of free. Round 1 was Sin 2, Sin Shenron. Yeah, it was also kind of free. Round 3 was Januma actually. He wasn't too familiar with how my deck was, and after deciding cards like Strategies of Universe 7 to deal with Blue Unison, one of the things I've tweaked in the deck, yeah, it just lets you answer it like Blue Unison pretty free, and also have a new tech in the deck, Heartfelt Play, I'm running. I was able to play it today in that matchup, and also helped me push for that extra bit of pressure. Round 4 was against David Liu. Really nice guy, also our last year's national champion. It was awesome. I was actually able to beat him, and that was probably by far the hardest game I had today, and he was super nice about it and whatnot. Very close. I only won by pretty much like the last card. And also
he was playing Gogeta Zeno.
He was playing Gogeta Zeno. Yeah. It's very Benny pounds me a lot at you know, with that deck, so I had an understanding for that matchup. It also helps in that specifically. I even told him that I've literally been commentating his game, so I know how he plays the deck. So I had a bit of an advantage going into that one.
Hit the download button there.
Hit the download button. Then also as well, I versus Max Kennedy, super nice guy as well. I was able to beat him. And then also...
That was round 5,
King
Piccolo?
Piccolo against King Piccolo. And then,
I heard that was a really close game.
That was pretty close. I'd say that Max was my second hardest game, and then by far my hardest. And then finals versus another King Piccolo. The name, I think it was Steven, I want to say?
Correct.
Steven, yeah. Versus finals. Super nice guy. I think...
what was he playing?
He was playing King Piccolo as well. I would say he wasn't as clean as Max, but he did a misplay into... He negated a thing to protect his unison with Cyberman Negate. Took a random card out of his life instead of another testing opposition, used Jiren auto to neg, kill the token, then I played New Ruler and killed that for his unison for free, and once you clear the unison in the matchup, you're chilling.
That sounds pretty good. 6-0, you know, taking first place. Yeah. Clean. Alright, let's go into the deck profile now then.
Yeah, so for those who don't know what this guy does, auto when you permanent, you can't send cards from the warp. Just sucks you can't overrun, but the fact that you kind of keep your drop safe from your opponent's plays is also quite nice. The auto, swing to draw. You always want, on the turn you want to awaken, you always want to pay an energy for whatever, swing with this guy, then awaken, because you get an additional draw on that turn. The active main, you burst 3, and then draw 1, then pitch card from your hand. Easy way you get more U7 cards in the drop area. In mill matchups, you honestly don't really want to use this too much. Once you awaken, you kind of want to like limit how much you're doing that, because when you use this skill, you go through 4 cards in your deck, and that's like 2 turns in the Geneva matchup, for example. And if you don't know, the Awaken 7U7 the drop, Boba on tap 1, draw 1, and then 4 life or less, just on tap 1, draw 1 as well. Front side's got the same permanent skill, active main upgraded, where you draw, then you choose up to 3. Once you hit 20, or once if you're versing mill, you never mill anything, you always just draw. And then active main sparking 20, you just grab a card back from your drop area. I will most likely use this to grab a super combo. I feel like that having been able to, the reason why I quite like this deck, the utility of that skill is insane, and also being able to like actually run 5 proper super combos is really good as well.
Awesome. All right, let's go into the cards we play in the deck then.
Yep, so first thing, got 4 of this 1-drop Gohan. I no longer on the Android 17, the one you can play, draw a card, yada yada. top 5 for U7 or 2-cost Unison, and the auto, we've changed the deck to run skillless cards now. Shout out to Goku, who showed me, did his deck profile as well, his list for his top 6. This is kind of why I changed the deck, because of that list. And yeah, that auto skill is really relevant. If they clear this, it is what it is. If they don't, you're actually cycling one more cards in your deck. We run 6 U7 vanillas and then 4 challenges. I don't like the 18. I would actually consider playing this card for 3, because the barrier blocker and the auto skill to block and neg something 15k is actually really relevant. But the whole point is this: you combo the Goku or the Vegeta, then you combo this and you get the cycle a card. With the Goku, you combo draw, and then you do this and you draw 2. So it lets you, for pretty much for free, get 2 cards in the drop area. I was considering the new promo Gohan that is just a 6k combo defensively, but in hindsight, this is kind of the same thing. Even though this does take up 2 more slots, it's kind of the same, if it makes sense. You know, 6k combo or 10k combo and draw 1.
This helps you dig really deep into your deck.
Yeah, the big thing about this, the biggest thing about this list versus my old list is that I always consistently am able to play stuff turn 2. There was one time today where I didn't have the required cards in my drop area to awaken turn 2 or play stuff turn 2, and I still ended up, I went on the feed, so I ended up doing that anyway. So then we have the good stuff: 4 Vegeta, 417, 4 Frieza, and 2 Vegeta. I really wish I had a third one of Vegeta. Honestly, could potentially cut the Frieza or the third Vegeta. I did side out this Frieza for the Vegeta a lot. But that being said, these are all just like generic good 1 energy, 15k, double strike, look for top 3 for U7, then you bottom deck the other ones. If you're versing Mill, for the love of God, please just put the cards at the bottom of your deck. You don't want to mill out. That's very important. You don't have to take the cards. And then this one's dual attack as well, and also next something 15k on play. Super good into pressuring a lot of early matchups, super good at clearing weaker unisons. These cards are insane. This card's really great as well, because once you get into longer matches, a lot of people make the mistake of thinking you have to play Ultra Mastery on turn 4. Just play this for 2 and swing, and just do that. You have 1 or 2 energy up. You get the draw card, neg 2 things, 15k and barrier. It just feels really great. I really want to figure out how I'm going to fit a third one in. But right now the deck feels a lot tight, because we are running 60 cards, and the skill ascension is part of the reason why we cut this down to 2.
Well, luckily this is a best of 1 pre-side event, the very first one that we have here.
Yeah, best of 1 pre-side. A lot of the time, certain matchups, I would take out I have a third Vegeta in the side. I'd take out a Frieza for a Vegeta based on matchup. Then obviously we have the lineup: the Jiren, the Goku, and the Videl. In my previous list, I was running 4 Videl. Again, it's one of those things I wish I can have a 4th Videl. Just due to the fact that, you know, it's like you want to see it, just because of the powerful interaction I explained last time, where this, and this kills, even just these 2, if you have a unison in play, right? It kills any battle card in the game, including SCRs, which is fairly relevant. But yeah, this Goku is insane. The fact that a big thing about it's got permanent spiking 7 instead of the other, like Vegeta, the Android 17 and the Frieza, where they need U7 cards and drop. This just needs whatever. You play this, you kill something, you draw a card, really great card. But this is like arguably the best card in the deck, because a lot of the times I don't even play Ultra Mastery to win. You don't actually have to play that card to win games. But yeah, I'd say this is the main reason why you play this deck over other leaders. This card is just so broken. And then, of course, Jiren is just like the best unison for this deck. I think if you're playing a different unison, I think you're kind of just doing yourself a disservice.
So Sin Shenron no good?
I think Sin Shenron's not horrible, but Jiren is just like 10 times better. Just the ability, like if Jiren's on board, your opponent can never pressure you with the battle card, because they have to respect the -3. And Jiren plus this Goku, when they play anything, like for example into Gogeta Zeno, they play, you have Jiren board, they play thwarting. They negative 10, cannot play negative 15, and you kill it straight away. It doesn't even get to attack, and you draw a card.
Yeah, I think you said this in your last deck profile as well. You can literally kill up to something that's 40k worth of power.
Yep.
Based on counter winner 1, counter winner 2.
Yeah, exactly.
With the Jiren.
Exactly, it is insane. Even sometimes as well, I'll neg Jiren. Let's just say now, one thing I did against actually Max Kennedy in the finals, he played his Pan. To the Pan SCR. With my Jiren, I negative 10, then I played Ultra Mastery to kill it, even without swing with Ultra Mastery, right? And another time, I also did the same thing. I did that actually to a Pan as well, where I did the neg 10, and then I played 2 Gokus. Even though one of them didn't draw me a card, I was still able to just neg it 30 anyway.
Nice, nice.
So then we'll go to some of the changes here. So another thing is that we're no longer running Broly Crown. We're running Vegeta Resolve Renewed. Broly Crown is really good. I do actually have it in the side, but it never felt like it came up today. The thing about Vegeta Resolve Renewed yes, your opponent has to play stuff with a skill, but they also commit the energy. Broly Crown, you play one, you have a look at the hand, really nice, but most of the time with Broly Crown, you're just getting a super combo, right? With Vegeta Resolve Renewed, you're getting energy as well, which I think is honestly more valuable than a super combo in a way. So, and as well as the fact that this isn't limited to your opponent having 2 energy up, this hits way more things that are like anything, like in the matchup against KP, it hits Drum, it hits certain parts of the Gogeta Zeno chain, it hits a lot of things that you wouldn't like, that Broly Crown doesn't give you that same value for.
I think the main thing that it hits right now, obviously, one of the biggest counters to your deck is Oceanus
Yeah,
Shenron.
exactly. That's another thing. Like, this card just answers the biggest counter to the deck. 2 Koitsukai. It's one of the few cards that once it's in the drop area, we actually can use this effect. Very relevant. Use it against, again, I can't say his name, Max Kennedy, but on my final turn of the game, I resolved 2 of these. He couldn't use his leader to combo to play anything. He kind of just sealed the deal there. And then the Frieza super combo, only super combo you need to run this deck. It is a Sparking 5 U7 super combo. You can have it live from turn 1, depending on what skills cards you see, and you know, it's just the U7 tag, you know, and Frieza's pretty cool.
Yep, synergy with the deck, always good. And look at those, all foil, beautiful.
I think most of my deck's foil besides a handful of cards. So this is like, for people who know me, I don't normally try to foil out my decks, but this deck speaks to me. This deck is probably one of my favorite decks I've ever played in this card game. So now we've got our main extra card negate lineup. So it's pretty much the same how I had before. I have to say, me and Benny did this thing because there was side events the day before. We actually swapped decks. He was playing my deck, and he was playing his Gogeta Zeno. And Benny kept on...
you were playing my Gogeta Zeno.
Yeah, sorry, I was playing Gogeta Zeno and he was playing my U7. He was saying that testing opposition was better than imposing presence for Vegeta, and I agree a lot to that. In testing, I felt like if I had testing opposition over King Vegeta's imposing, I would have been able to win a lot of times. Imposing is really good. And it's fine, I have it in the side, but the fact that it's only free when you're at 3 life or less, and also rips a card out of your hand, and it's like, a lot of decks can go either wide or tall. I feel like just having a thing that straight up stops 2 attacks is significantly better. Violent Raise is for Gogeta Zeno. For After Image, the fact that like this card is free in your deck, if you pay energy for this, you're either about to die or you're trolling. It's one of those 2 things, you know. But that being said, I did use it for 1 energy late game, you know, against Gogeta Zeno. Yeah. Shout out to David Liu, insane player, probably the hardest game I had all day. Came in clutch. This actually won me the game. I was able to, he played his last card for turn, which was Forwarding. He swung with it. I sparked in After Image, went down to 1 life, and he had no more swings for the turn. He actually had 1 more swing for the turn with a God Trunks, the 5-drop. I used the After Image to kill that because I already used the After Image earlier in that turn. So you need to run 4 After Images. Just the fact that it's free, because most of the time with this deck, you're tapping out every turn to do your stuff. The only stuff you're leaving energy up for is either your Violent Raise or your Goku counterplay. There's no reason to leave energy up otherwise. Unless, of course, if it's late game, you know, then you have to be a bit more safe with your energy.
Yeah, imposing definitely has its merits, but maybe it's matchup dependent. But this is best of 1 precise, so therefore you are able to access those 15 cards in your extra deck.
Exactly. So now we'll go to the lineup. So a lot of people saw that I was playing the Broly SCR. I actually changed to the Vegeta. Vegeta, the matchup I was struggling the most with Vegeta, well, just in the decks in general, is Mono Blue. I feel like Mono Blue has a lot of ways to answer this deck. Going in like Majin Buu Unison's the bane of my existence. I really hate that card. And the Broly, the fact that like the Buu Unison, let's just say now I was playing Broly Unison just checks both the Broly and the Goku. So Vegeta, just specifically for that matchup, I think Vegeta is way better. Being able to play it for 4 and burn a life is just insane, and it felt really relevant today as well in one of the games. Today I was able to grab Vegeta back and just burn people with 1. So there's times where Vegeta does win you the game for free. Ultra Mastery in hindsight can do the same thing, but burning someone for 1 is also really good. Clearing a whole board, including Unisons, ignoring Barrier, also really good. But yeah, I felt really good. Also, a quick disclaimer, part of this event was an experimental thing for me as well, because I wasn't entirely sure about how I felt about this build. I was still, honestly, I'm not 100% sold that this is like the ideal list. I just was able to play it really well today, which is quite nice for me. And yeah, everyone knows what Ultra Mastery do, your boss monster, yada yada yada. If you're, we'll do the next 4 cards as well, so I can talk a bit more about ratios and that. So we have 1 new ruler. You have to play new ruler. It's a free 20k double strike. Clutch against King Piccolo, match up against Steve in the finals. He used the Cyberman, the testing opposition negate, took a life. And then I played this and swung, used Jiren to kill the token blocker, played this and swung, killed the Unison. Once you kill the Unison in the matchup, it's kind of free. And then my last 3 cards is 2 Realm of the Gods and then 1 Heartfelt Play. So the main reason for Realm of the Gods feels really good. Pumps your cards. Offensively, 10k pump plus kill 30k, really good into Gogeta Zeno, really good into Sin Shenron. And the other thing is that if you use it defensively, it's a 15k combo and draw cards, so super good. But the reason why it's also really good, it actually enables heartfelt play. So how this play works is that the Realm of the Gods card doesn't actually say you have to choose the card that's in battle. You can choose any one of your cards. So what you can do, you pump any of your cards. Let's just say now, I swing with my leader, right? Unawakened, yeah? I will pay 1, use the Realm of the use this card to pump, let's just say, kill something on my opponent's side of the board. Let's just say now I'm against Gogeta Center, I'll kill one of those Gogeta cards, right? Then on top of that, I'll use, instead of pumping my leader 10k, I'll pump a different card 10,000 power. So most of the time it's either your Frieza or your Android 17 or even the Goku if you have it. Then you can awaken and play Heartfelt Play. I played Heartfelt Play once today and also had the opportunity to play it another time today. When I played it, it applies so much pressure. I've had games where Heartfelt Play has done 4 damage in a single turn because the fact that it is triple strike, offering, and it feels really good. If you mill it, it's kind of the same as New Raw, even the Broly SCR in a way that if you just mill it, it just is what it is. You're kind of missing out on that card. And then the other thing about it is that, like, you know, let's just say now, because you do need these 3 cards to see the combo. You don't see this every game. Even though it's like it is inconsistent for sure, but the fact that it's like, if I told you, yeah, look, you can run these 3 cards in your deck, right? You're playing 2 of them most of the time anyway. You just put this one in, and maybe like when you see these 2 cards, you just win the game. It feels pretty good. I think I've won every game. Every single time I've played Heartfelt Play, I've won the game. It's such an impressive card. And yeah, if you don't know what Heartfelt Play does, you know, you sack a 25k battle card when you awaken, you play it. It has triple strike, energy, exhaust, and offering. Offering means your opponent has to crit a life, or you draw 2 cards. Again, part of the reason why it does 4 damage. And I also really wanted to say, if you're playing Broly SCR, I would cut Heartfelt Play and put a 4th Ultra Mastery in, and you're just playing Broly SCR. You need to play, if you are playing Broly SCR, you must play 4 Ultra Mastery. That is just no ifs or buts. But the thing is that in this particular build, it seems I'm playing Vegeta, this is my 4th Ultra Mastery in a sense.
Real question here, did you miss playing Broly SCR this event? Because in your last deck profile that we did, you were playing Broly and 4 Ultra Mastery. Did you ever miss it?
Not really. I think Broly is better in the black matchup significantly, because a lot of the time what will end up happening is that your opponent will either petrification you, so you're actually unable to really do anything with your Ultra Mastery. Same with your Vegeta. That's the main way they can answer this card. So I think for black specifically, Broly is way better, but I think against blue, I think Vegeta is better. That's the big thing. The matchup I struggled the most with was blue. If blue wasn't as good, I would still be playing Broly over the Vegeta. But that being said, Vegeta, everyone knows Vegeta's my favorite character, so like, I felt really good, you know, a bit sold. He's a beautiful card, and man, that's the main model of the deck. But I will say, if you don't have Heartfelt Play and you see me, I won this with Heartfelt Play, like, it's not actually necessary. Again, I played it once today, and I had the option to play it again, actually against Max Kennedy. I ended up discarding it because I didn't think using the energy to just clear nothing, just to play Heartfelt Play wasn't really worth it. I'd much rather play my Jiren Unison for 3 and then leave an energy open to use this defensively. So you don't play this every game, but when it comes up, it is super, super fucking good. Sorry for my language, by the way.
No, definitely. Very oppressive card there.
Yeah.
So the thing is, another thing you should never try to do is, if you really don't have it, don't force the Heartfelt Play.
Correct.
But it's just that if you see it, it will provide you insane value.
Correct. If you don't have Heartfelt Play, don't feel like you need it to win every game. Yeah. It's more like, just think of there's a button you can press that says I win the game. That's kind of what Heartfelt Play kind of feels.
So
like.
that was your full deck there. What's the deck count?
60. I said that before. 60.
Yep,
If you're playing,
that's cool.
If you're playing less than 60, you're actually just trolling. You are hard trolling.
All right, we'll go through the side deck now then. All right, let's go for it.
All right, so we'll start off with the card that is my least favorite card on the sideboard, King of Vegeta's Imposing Presence. Talked about it briefly before. Testing the opposition is better. Originally, actually, technically this is in my main board, but because we're in Fest, so you can actually side cards out in game 1. So I'd always side out these 2 cards for testing the opposition. So I kind of just left it like that, you know? So
yeah, legit, when I was playing John's deck in the side event, that was one of the very first cards that I side up. Hasn't really come up relevant, unless there's a lot of low to the ground aggro deck, aka Bark's Crew, etc.
Yeah.
They don't realize a lot of 15k swings. Yeah, this card could come in handy, but maybe not today.
I'm gonna still leave 2 on the side, because again, yes, it is situational. It does have good synergy with the deck, but I don't think the third one was really good, so I'll be changing the side. Next couple of things we had to fix up some ratios. We had Vegeta and a Videl. And also, we can put these 2 cards here, Testing the Opposition and Cyberman. So, as I said before, Testing, I had 3 in the side. Violent Raise is for Gogeta Zeno. I would most likely change this to another Violent Raise. I usually just need that for that matchup. That matchup is so oppressive. 4th Videl, no reason not to have it on the side. 3rd Vegeta, I think 3 is a good number because it does cost 2.
I think I said you needed 3 in the main as well because I really like the card. It plays really well.
Yeah. So this is, I think Vegeta's fun. These cards are all really good. I really wish I can find room for another Videl, but at 3 it didn't feel bad. But just like not having Videl when you really need it just feels really bad.
But you saw it all 6 games today when you needed it, right?
I didn't see it every game. Some games didn't really play. Some games didn't actually play my Unison.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Next thing is some more stuff to do with blue. We have 3 Stress of Universe 7. You only need 2. I think 3 is overkill. No real reason to have more than 3. But the point of this card is that so you can give your Ultra Mastery barrier when swinging into blue Unison. Lets you clear it straight away. Also means that if they don't have, let's say, either Grade 8 Baby or another card being the 4-drop Son Goku from the first draft box that just returns a card to hand, draw a card. They have no real way to clear this at that point in the game. Yes, when they're on 7, Energy Kale does exist, but this is specifically to deal with blue Unison. And yes, it comes up relevant. It is really nice. And shout out to Jun who gave me the last 2 copies. He's got a deck profile coming out on our channel soon as well. We have 2 Broly Crown of Retribution and 2 SSB Goku. I would actually put the Goku in aggressive matchups, mainly again Gogeta Zeno matchups. I'm the most worried about because literally I just need more U7 tags in my drop area. And also if people are greedy with Gogeta Zeno and they hold they play the barrier guy and just leave it there, you can just pay 2 to kill it. And then also Broly Crown is just costs 2. Look at your opponent's hand. I think 2 is fine. I can't really see myself starting it more, but I think the sideboard is good. I wish there was better U7 cards. One of the cards I probably will end up putting back on the side is the U7 Gohan card. It's when you combo. It's like a Cubba's Awakening. You combo it against an extra 1k power, so it's like a 6k combo. And lastly, I'm surprised people aren't playing this card. I think this card's super good in this deck. Every time I've tested it, it feels amazing. But Final Guardian, this is the last cardboard in the sideboard. I've not seen any other U7 list that's topped anything play this card, and this card is just crazy good. So for those of you guys who don't know, this card is just simply a counter attack and choose one of your battle cards, give it 5,000 power. Seems pretty whatever, right? And it also has this auto skill that you can only activate 1 Final Guardian per turn. But the real thing is this permanent skill here. So this permanent skill says this card's what does it say? If this card is in your drop area, you can activate this card if you choose 1 card from your hand and this card, remove it from the game. So why is this so good? It's one of the fewer cards in the game right now that actually doesn't get wrecked by your permanent skill, because same thing as Koitsuka, right? Because you're removing it from the game. You can actually use this from your drop area after you mill it. Super relevant against shout out to David Liu, who was the former national he's the current national champion from last year. That was able to beat. I had this in drop area and he thought he had game because he just swung. he thought he was able to push through for damage. He didn't realize that I was able to use this card from the drop area as an additional negate. And the cool thing about it too is that in this deck, most of the time you are tapping out for certain plays, right? Like you're tapping out for Jiren. A lot of the time you're only leaving energy up for your Goku counterplay as well as Violent Rays. So this is another thing you leave your energy up for. And it's also, your deck has a lot of dead cards in it, like Ultra Mastery, 10k combo, Heartfelt Plea Game, 10k combo, Unison can't combo with, and even some extra cards you can't use from your hand at certain times, like again, well, I guess that's that's wrong. We're not Violent Rays because you're paying 1 for it anyway. But the point I'm trying to make is that there's times where you have cards in your hand you literally can't use. I'll use this and remove Ultra Mastery from the game, but I don't die. I think if you're watching anything from this, I think this card is a must in main or side for this particular deck, just because of the fact that you'll need to burst it. Turns any card into your hand into a negate. That is very relevant.
Yeah, these drop negates have so much synergy with leaders that burst, because if you burst it, it never feels bad. It's always there. And like you said, the main thing, you could catch your opponent sleeping, forgetting to check your drop area for that 1 drop negate, and if that's a last swing, that's turn. Yeah,
that's the game, as they say.
Alrighty, so. That's an awesome deck profile. So any last shout-outs you would like to give?
Honestly, I just want to shout out the boys for coming up for the contest. We had a little bit of a misplay coming here, The people who know,
If you know, you know.
If you know, you know. We had a bit of a misplay. We missed our flight. But anyway, shout out the boys. Honestly, this weekend would have been amazing. Like, tons of fun, regardless of Dragon Ball. Yeah, I was able to win the event, which is really for me. Everyone knows I'm a little bit cocky, so I'm very happy that I did win this event. And it feels really nice too, being able to finally have a in-person event that I can play and actually show that I'm not horrible at the game still. Shout out to TAC for obviously hosting the event. Crystal and Trent did an amazing job as always.
All the judges,
Ryan, Josh from our local, a bunch of them did tons of good. Benny for filming this deck profile. The boys like Jun do good. I'll give them all a shout out. Jun, Pile, Nick, who's passed out over there. I don't know what Jesse is. He's watching something on his phone. I don't know. And and that's I think that's about. Also, shout out to Kevin.
Who cares?
Hey, only reason I didn't win the online one, Kevin had the counter deck for me, that's all I'm saying.
Hey, alright. Anyways, thank you for listening, guys. Subscribe to the channel for more deck profiles.
Jules and Benny's.
Yeah, we've got my deck profile, Gogeta Zeno, top 4, and we also have top 8 for Jun for Super Saiyan God Trunks, you know. So, yes, stay tuned, guys.
Peace.